What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It is me and only me today. I'm going to try and attempt to get this engine up into the bay and get it locked in place. Ethan is at work right now. This has been probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks since I filmed the last video that you guys saw, and no work has been done. I leave town for a little bit, the kid goes to sleep. So we're going to try and get this up here and then make him wire it all together once it's in there. So in the last video, I told you that we were going to try and do some sketchy stuff and get this up. We tried that. Did not work. So we went over to Drew's house, if you remember him from way back in the day. He's still my cousin. And we got this engine hoist here so that I can try and get this up. So the problem is, you can see possibly right here, there is one of the hangers or where you would hook the engine hoist onto the engine. However, the other one is missing. Ethan has no idea where he put it when he took everything apart. So what we're gonna try and do is hook one side of this over here and then use the jack there on the transmission side to try and lift everything up. We'll see how it goes. It's a one-man crew, so it might get even more sketch than the first way I tried it. All right, so here we have the engine hoist up on one side, the jack on the other. I'm trying to jack them up in unison. We're almost there. It's gonna have to go back just a little bit to be able to line up with these holes. Same over here with the trans. We're gonna have to push this whole thing back. We're starting to get caught up there, but I'll get her in place. So here we have the engine almost up. Of course, at the transmission side, it's a little bit crooked, but here on the passenger side, where the motor mount goes on the timing side, we have the bolts up in place. So I'm gonna go ahead and start threading the nuts on there to at least hold this side in place, which would then allow us to hopefully start pivoting over on the other side. Fingers crossed. So it's been about 30 minutes. As you can see, that side is up. I now have this bolt in place. Now I need to do is go down there and get the bottom motor mount in. I've already started doing some of the wiring. Probably should have the engine fully mounted in place before we start doing that. But I wanted to make sure that I wasn't getting anything trapped in any crevices or in between anything that I wasn't going to be able to get out once I got those motor mounts in. So now that I made sure of that, time to go down below and make sure that this thing is fully secured. We've got the lower motor mount on right now. This bracket here, which is still kind of loose, that will go to help hold this down pipe in place. Still need to get the turbo up in here, but that might be something I leave for Ethan. I think I'm kind of done with this. Hey, what's going on? I'm sitting here right now editing this very video that you're watching right now and figured now would be the best time in the world to like and subscribe to this channel. And if you like all the stuff that I've done previously with the RTRs, go over to the RTR Vehicles YouTube channel after you're done watching this one to see all the latest and greatest stuff that I've done with S650 with all of our install videos there. And if you want to see what it looks like to race an RTR or a GR Corolla, go ahead and head over to the J-Dub Racing channel after you're done with this. All of it's pretty good, but I would definitely finish this video first because it starts getting really good right after this. Just out here right now, it's the next day. Ethan is here to help me, finally, and we are getting the throttle body in place here onto the intake manifold. Somebody couldn't find the original bolts, especially with your great organizational system here. Don't know how that failed us, but these cam cap bolts from the 2017 Ford Mustang surprisingly fit exactly the way that we needed them to. So we're gonna get this tightened down, then get the manifold onto the vehicle, continue to make sure that we have every plug in place that we need and start moving around. The only thing right now that we're waiting on is we have to finish up the timing on this because we put the engine in here and realized, hey, you know what? Cam positioning sensor still wasn't put on there. We did have the original one in place onto the harness, so we're gonna bolt that in place and then try and set that with it in there, and then maybe try and fire it up. I don't know, we'll see how the day goes. We were working on getting the fuel line off of the pressure regulator, but somebody doesn't have the ability to do that, even after looking on YouTube.
I was gonna figure it out.
Eventually.
It's not my fault. Everybody online had a different type of hose.
So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna remove this one here that came on the new engine and put that one on since the line is already attached. Other than that, everything else is looking pretty good. Got to get the transmission connected here, and then I believe everything else we're going to be able to start figuring out where it goes as soon as we get the turbo back in place back there.
So that one's a 13?
No, it's the exact same size.
There's no way that fits on there. Oh, dude, yeah, it's the exact same size.
Oh, good, good, good. Glad you told me. I would have never known otherwise. Thanks for putting your big old sausage fingers exactly where the camera's going. So over here on this dirty counter, Nate is trying to get this out. So when we were taking the whole engine apart, this heat shield was on there and would not come out because there was something wrong with this bolt. He had the great idea of just ripping it off with his bare hands, like the grizzly man that he is, and now we're stuck with this. And he went ahead and cut himself a groove into it thinking he'd turn out with a screwdriver, but apparently all that man-bear strength is now gone.
Okay.
And now you're just a man-bear pig.
There's something out there which threatens our very existence and may be the end to the human race as we know it. I'm talking, of course, about man-bear pig.
I was using this. It just strips out, so.
Down here working on getting the turbo back in place, so I figured now's a good time to shine the light in his face. So been down here for a while, still looking for the other side of this bracket right here. We have the down pipe and charge pipe in, and we have the V-band back on here holding on the cat to the turbo. Still trying to figure out the boost controller side of things. Other than that, everything else on the way up is good to go, except for one little hose up there somewhere. Can't really see it right now. Also still have to get our cam positioning sensor in place to finish out the timing of this. The top side of the engine is pretty much all together. Still trying to figure out where these two go. And then where this hose, it goes down in here, but then just kind of connects to nothing. We'll figure it out though. Right now, I am trying to get this dipstick out of here because someone said not to put it in, and then someone made the mistake of putting it in here, and it broke off when we put the engine in. I'm not going to name names. It was me. It was me. Ethan told me not to do it, and I did it. But we're going to get this out of here because I have this handy dandy pick from Gear Wrench, and I'm hoping, yep, there we go. It got it out. So,
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
So, oh no! Are you serious? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, we have a problem.
Did it fall in there?
So, the piece that was sticking out broke, and then now it's even farther down in there. And I really hope we don't have to take this cover off to get this out of here. Follow up, I was able to grab a hold of the O-ring that's on there and get her out. I'm gonna look down in there and make sure that we don't have any debris down in there. Jesus Christ, that was close. That sucks. Ethan finally got the boost controller figured out, so all that is plumbed up. Found out where one of our two plugs go. One goes to this compressor. The other one has to be somewhere near here, so I'm still just kind of... Found it! Yeah, goes to the radiator. Look at that. YouTube saved our life. Ethan is over there doing... So, aren't you supposed to be putting the suspension on?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you almost done?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind then. So I'm over here trying to get the crankshaft positioning sensor in. We do have it set to top dead center, and here is our positioning tool here. It's really just a 3D printed piece here that goes over your sensor and then locks in with the slot around the tooth, so it'll get everything centered. So if I get this on here, it sets up in between there. You'll look at it, it has some play to it for real. But what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of pressing it up against the tooth to try and keep everything as straight as possible. And then I'm gonna go ahead and crank it down, and hopefully that will do it. This is what was used on the 2.3 liter EcoBoost that we had on the Mustang, but from everything that I've seen, and even from Ethan ordering a new one, this is the exact same setup that it was for the 2.3. So we're going to give this a try, and hopefully everything works out. So that is where I am going to call it for tonight. We got a little bit of a problem. I put coolant into the car, and it appears that there's a leak on the backside of the engine. I believe it's coming from one of the coolant lines that runs into the turbo, but it's on the backside of the turbo. So it's not really easy to get into. The other problem is, as I'm trying to reach up in there, it's leaking coolant, it's hitting me in the face, and I can't really see. So that's where I'm gonna have to call it for tonight. I'll hit it again tomorrow, and that's probably where I'm gonna stop, because this weekend is my birthday, and I don't plan on being out here working on this car on my birthday. But in honor of my birthday, make sure to give this video a like, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and go ahead and hit those bell notifications so you don't miss anything else as I go into my 43rd year of life. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. In the next one, we're going to try and solve all these issues, so maybe, fingers crossed, we can try and do our first start. Until then, peace.